Kolbrin Bible, Book 5, Chapter 31. Possible reference to the Dnieper Donets culture north of Göbekli Tepe, Part 2, Destruction. MAN 31:9. The disaster was brought about through the ascendance of evil. Rites which awakened the dead were rife among the carnal-minded and ignorant, while those who remained steadfast on the harder road of spiritual development had fixed their eyes on the light ahead, ignoring the pitfalls at their feet. It was then, even as now, will men ever learn? MAN 31:10. This was the aspect of the disaster, as written in the Book of Beginnings. There were openings in the land from which evil vapors poured forth as a mist, descending upon the people like a mantle. It spread out and covered the whole face of the land. The tongues of the people were stopped, and they became dumb with fear. The ground trembled beneath them, and great tongues of flame shot up. The whole land heaved and rocked like an ocean wave. As it rose and fell, groaned and shook, the fires which strove beneath burst forth to be met with shafts of lightning striking down from heaven. MAN 31:11. A thick black cloud of smoke filled the land, and men were smothered in dust. As the setting sun rested on the horizon, it could be but dimly seen beneath the cloud as a fiery red ball. When it had gone, a gray, dense darkness prevailed, lit only by great sheets of lightning. The waters broke heavily over the land, sweeping it clean. The plains and cities were covered, and new shores formed around the mountains. The waters mounted up until all that moved and lived were covered. The land was submerged. Mountain tops alone remained above the rush of uplifted torrent. Whirlwinds blew and brought cold winds which cleared away the dust and debris. Mud banks were formed, and a mountain mouth remained open to spew forth vile vapors. During one long awful night, the doomed land was torn apart and southward sank out of sight forever. MAN 31:12. A wise man has written, this was not mountain-girt Calafi or age-old Ramakai. This was the land out in the green waters where the sun sets beyond Keftu, near the lands of the Henboa. Caldera, a small circular island, had an eruption caused by the emptying of the magma chamber around 21,000 years ago. It's been said to be active for well over 100,000. This also refers along the lines of, like Santorini, which is thought to have done so around 1600 BCE in the same area. It's filled many times by ignimbrite and then collapsed once again. It collapsed during the Minoan eruption. The caldera formed a nearly continuous ring with the only entrance between the tiny island of Aspranesi and Thera. The eruption destroyed the sections of the ring between Aspranesi and Thracia, and between Thracia and Thera, creating two new channels. The Egyptian pharaoh Thutmose I wrote of Santorini, Thera, so while it could date back to any time, it is just as likely referring to 1600 BCE.